My mic sounds nice. Check one.
It's good. We're live.
I'm gonna set the recording on also.
Sorry for being a rule breaker.
What you talking about?
Exactly.
Only the camera's seeing you. That one.
Go ahead. Hey, Pete, Jimmy.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Do me a favor, Pete. Check this mic in real quick when Vernon comes in.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
When you're ready, we'll come on one of these.
Ready. Go, right?
So what you could do, stop that, click that. Stop. Click. Okay. As soon as that's done, you're not gonna hear anything for anything. So these are on. But you did mine now, which was it. As soon as that's finished.
I swear I put up a photo of people kneeling at the Baltimore game.
Okay, keep on top while that's running.
Huh?
If he's on top,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
turn
All
these
right.
off until that's ready.
We got
Put
you.
the program back on once it finished. Like now.
What? Don't let me know. Hey. Good afternoon, everybody. This is We Runnin Radio. This is one of your hosts, a triumvirate. That's what they call it, a triumvirate. It's three of us. It's a triumvirate of cool young men from the U.S. Virgin Islands. My name is Ian Turnbull. We got who's in here? Who's in the building?
Kill Jacobs.
Got Pete from AP Cigars.
Okay. I got your note, Pete. Yeah, there you go. Say that again.
Pete from AP Cigars.
Yeah. All right. So we're here, another show, and we're ready to get in motion. If you're on Facebook, watch us at We Runnin. That's WERUNNIN. And if you're not, on Facebook Live, you're listening to us on radio. You're listening to us live at 97.3 FM right here on WUBI. Let's get into it. So we have so let's talk about our first show for a little bit. Let's just do that. Let's dive into that show. How did we like it, guys?
I thought we were very good, man. I thought we hit a lot of points, but it was also the first show, so you're trying to work out kinks, you're trying to get things, you don't know what buttons to press, what buttons not to press, you're figuring yourself out. So I think this show is we're just gonna get better from here.
I personally thought we did a pretty good job. It wasn't as good as our demos. Maybe we were just slightly nervous being live, radio, Facebook, whatever it may be. But it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, I concur. I think we did what we came to do. It was our first show. As you can see, we have a very, very dope intro song now.
Fire.
We're professionals.
Yo.
Professionals.
We got to step our game up now, man.
Yeah, that dude London really shut that down.
Feed, big shout out to Feed, don't pay me no mind, over there in St. Croix. We Running, he made a very dope intro for us. So, let's just get into it. We're gonna have three main topics, and then we're gonna toss in a couple hot topics. But our hot topic is so hot. One of our hot topics is so hot that I'm gonna dump one of our main topics.
And go straight to the hot topic.
Yeah, because it's Rihanna we're talking about, right?
Fire.
So, yeah, Rihanna is
Fire
pretty
flames.
cute, and Amy Schumer is pretty good too because her money's long.
She did get some couple Netflix checks.
She still got some Netflix checks. But yeah, Rihanna and Amy Schumer pretty much they have denounced the Super Bowl, and they've done it all in a stance to Colin Kaepernick. What are your thoughts, guys? I know you're the sports guy, so I'm gonna pass the ball to you real quick.
Pass the rock.
Pass the rock to you.
On the rock.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. Okay, so first, Jay-Z technically did it. So remember Jay-Z?
Jay-
Remember Jay-Z
Oh,
turned
yeah,
him down.
yeah,
So
yeah.
remember Jay-Z turned him down.
Yeah. We doing Super Bowl. We doing stadiums too.
Correct. And technically, Rihanna's works with Jay-Z through Rock Nation, whatever it may be. If you can afford it, I respect it. But that is a nice check you're gonna get, which Maroon 5 is gonna be getting. It's all about the check here, but it all depends what your financial situation may be. If you can afford to, I say do it. It's a job. They're entertainers, they're musicians, whatever it may be. But this Colin Kaepernick it's going for a long time. It's been what, two years?
2 years now, right?
3 now. I think.
2016.
Yeah, we're in 2018 season now. We saw Eric Reed recently just got a job with the Carolina Panthers, who was also one of his colleagues in the 49ers who he did kneel. He was the first person to kneel with Kaepernick in San Francisco. So he actually recently just got a job a couple weeks back. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's a weird situation. I'm saying if you can afford to, go for it. If not, I respect it. I don't know.
So I was watching.
That's a hey.
I was watching Monday Night Football last night, and Eli played like trash. It just made me sick.
But that defense is terrible too, man.
That's what I'm saying. The
defense.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And that
No,
line,
the offensive line is trash.
offensive line.
So I actually think I'm gonna boycott the NFL, man.
Because your team sucks.
Yeah, my team sucks. So I'm gonna join in on this boycott. It only makes sense for me, at least.
Mhm.
For you guys who have good teams, it doesn't. But my team sucks.
Man,
So
that
I prefer
offensive
not-
line is softer than baby backs. Come on.
I prefer not to say my team on the radio. It's that bad. But remember, I
you're
didn't.
not 1-6, bro.
I think we have 2 wins. Luckily, I'm not sure. Okay, Buffalo Bills, whatever. It's out there. Bills Mafia, hey, whatever. Okay, remember we did our demo. We talked about the people boycotting.
Right.
Remember, people are boycotting for 2 different reasons as well. People are boycotting because of Kaepernick, and people also boycotting because people are still kneeling as well. So I think there's a lot going on with this as well.
Yes.
Both on 2 different sides.
Definitely, because I think the people are now boycotting during the games, and I recently shared a photo of people boycotting, like they were kneeling outside the stadium.
That was in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just goes to show you that there's different ways of doing it. It's going down. You know what I mean?
But you guys do realize how much NFL players aren't kneeling anymore. So they shut that down quick. You want your check? You better stand.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
That's that slavery,
But
boy.
that just goes to Rihanna. Rihanna has the cojones. You know, I think that by turning down the check, you're saying that you can't buy me. I cannot be bought with your money. I understand the money is good. You can put me on the yacht in the private Learjet. It's gonna pay for the Jimmy Choos, all of that stuff, but you can't buy me, and that says something. You know, that's a different level. So I got a lot of more respect than I had now. I have more respect now for Rihanna than before. And hey, you know, to whoever gets your check, get your money. This is America. Everything is by the dollar, but at the same time, I give much respect to people who can't be compromised by the almighty dollar.
So that's why I think Amy Schumer. I actually feel Amy
she was
Schumer
bucking shots.
is. I think
She
Amy
pulled out the
Schumer's-
AK-47.
Yeah, I think Amy Schumer denouncing the NFL is a bigger deal than is Rihanna. Why? Because
No.
Amy Schumer is typical white America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for white America to say, "Hey, we done.
But
We ain't want that back.
but,
We out here standing next to our black brothers and sisters."
But what she did that I thought that this showed the cojones was when she called out white men. When she was like, "Yo, y'all need to stand up to your right
Yeah,
next to
she
your
did
brother.
say that.
Why are
She
you
did say
not
that.
doing that?
Why are you not doing
You're
that?
trash, and you have no cojones." And when she said that, I was like, "Wow, that's it. You know, that's it. That is it." Who else? Who you sitting? Hold on. You're in practice with your brother. You in the weight room. You guys have this mentality: it's them against us. You go out on the field. You play this dangerous game where you could get your neck broke. But you stand for some kind of injustice, which we can see that there's some kind of injustice going on and inequality. But your brother, who's supposed to be in the trenches with you, stands. Is he really your brother? Is he down for you? Is he gonna get you that block when you need it?
He's gonna get you that block. So
Can you trust this guy?
So you say,
Can he be trusted?
Can he be trusted? You are stupid, yo.
Can he be trusted?
But you're right. But and again, it all goes back to, what is America willing to put up with? And I think in our demo we spoke about this. It's a double-edged sword for the NFL, because what's happening is you're not going to get, white America is going to say, well, oh, you guys are studying Colin Kaepernick, and then black America is going to say, or minority America is going to say, oh, we're boycotting. So they're going to lose money on both ends. And again, because the Giants suck so much, you're definitely going to lose money.
And it's NBA season.
Because New York is not going to support.
And it's
guys.
NBA season. I'm sorry, I'm shutting off the NFL for now. I mean,
Well, the NFL is more powerful than the NBA season.
well, LeBron, Lakers, fights. I'm all over that.
Oh,
I turned off. We'll get to that. But I'm just saying, I shut off the NFL. On Sundays, I got other things to do.
Okay,
I got to mow the
I got
grass.
something to say about the Amy Schumer thing. I just think she's just trying to get headlines. It's easier for her to say, "Oh, I wouldn't perform." She's a comedian. She's not going to perform at the Super Bowl anyway. What is she going to do?
She
I have to do some show.
Well, she said commercials, but
Oh, come on now. I just think she's just trying
Commercial money is big, though.
It is.
big.
It is for a Super Bowl. Those million dollar commercials.
She didn't have
whatever it
to.
may be. But I just think she's just trying to put her name out there and just keep.
well, it's working.
Exactly.
She's doing a great job.
I don't think she's
I'm
actually-
listening. I'm reading the articles, and I'm like, yeah, she's right.
I don't think she's about that
Right.
life, man. I don't think she's about that life.
Has
So
she
you
ever
think-
stood up
so
for
you-
anything
you
else
think
before?
This is just a,
I think this is a nice PR move to get some nice viewers to her to watch her programs going forward. But,
I'm watching.
I want to drop my job.
Oh, you. Oh gosh.
She's the governor, man. That's just
So
what
she
it
runs
is.
things.
So she runs things. She runs her own world.
we need mics. I mean, we need headphones.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't hear that. I gotta set this up so you guys can hear it.
But no, we good. But so Amy is definitely out in the front, bucking
Right.
shots with the 9mm Glock 40, and I like it. And the biggest thing that she did was call out white men. Y'all need to stand up. The ones of you who are about truth, justice, and believe that there's some kind of inequality, y'all need to stand up. What are you doing? Put the cup down and kneel. What are you doing? So that's So I could respect her for that.
So
But what's
so,
the
so I guess we're agreeing with Amy Schumer, and we're agreeing with Rihanna. Boycott the NFL. That's what we're doing. So I'm definitely boycotting.
But I'm just saying, if they were to show up with the bag,
I'm not boycotting.
if they showed up with the bag, who wouldn't go with the bag right now? If they showed up with that check, that's gonna change the family, and people ain't gonna have to work no more.
If I had to perform, I was taking that check.
Deposit it right away.
Yeah, chill out, please.
I need my deposit.
I need mine quick.
Send over the invoice. We
Yeah.
need that check. Oh man, that's so bad.
But this show is being powered by. Always want to give shout out to who the show is being powered by. Sean Brown, Toyota of St. Thomas. Much thanks again.
Respect.
What's his number again, so that people can call him out? Call him out there?
Sean Brown, he is the man. 340-626-8223. And he also does have a website as well, Sean Brown, BROWNEBI.com.
All right, thanks for powering the show. Much appreciated. So let's get into another topic, man. We're gonna have a guest tonight, so at 6:30, we're gonna kind of tone down and then get into our guest. But for right now, let's get into another topic. So this one is pretty popular. It's all about the marijuana, weed.
The ganja.
The ganja.
Let's talk about the
Mary
ganja.
Jane. All right. So, how do we feel about you know, I know this is your rock. I'm gonna pass this
You
rock
pass
to
the
you.
football?
I'm gonna pass it off to you.
Should I kneel or should I stand?
Stand.
You're sitting now.
Stand.
Or should I sit?
Sit. Yeah, sit.
What's coming?
I want to give a big shout out to Canada for fully legalizing ganja.
No, come on.
They didn't fully legalize it.
Well, it's legalized, but
I thought
go
that-
ahead. So go ahead. I'm
I
not
thought
gonna
I thought
interrupt
the
you.
ganja was fully
They-
legal.
Go ahead. I did my little
so,
research on it.
they, as far as I know, cannabis is legal in
It is,
Canada.
it is.
So people are flooding the borders right now. It's packed. Can't even get a flight to Canada right now. Right? But you know, I like the fact that it's no longer a criminal offense. You can smoke.
30 grams though.
Okay, you know, but it's treated like a regular substance, like tobacco,
Right,
like
right.
alcohol. You can use it in your house. You can go to certain places that have it. Police pull you over, they're not gonna club you upside the head because you got a little joint on you. They're just,
Right,
you know,
right.
it's nothing like that. So I like that, and they're also using it for medical purposes, gout, glaucoma, pain relief. You know,
He said that.
meditation.
You notice how loud he said that? Glaucoma.
Gout, you know.
Gout.
And you know, various different healing purposes. So you know, I give a shout out to that. You know, and it's not only Canada, but it's Uruguay, it's Amsterdam, California, it's Colorado, Washington State, Oregon, like a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. In South Africa, you can grow like I think up to 5 trees in South Africa, and the government just leaves you alone. Like, you know, as long as you're not wilding and doing foolishness. You know.
So are you saying that? I'm assuming that you brought up this topic because we see so many other Caribbean islands and
Oh,
countries.
Antigua and Barbados, they
Antigua and
fully-
Barbuda.
yeah,
Barbuda, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet, but they're on the verge of pretty much legalizing it. Again, medicinal.
They want the bag. This is it all boils down to the bag, the money. Okay, Canada wants that money, and a lot of the marijuana industry in America is saying and calling out and pleading with Trump to please legalize marijuana in the United States because we're going to fall behind. And everybody else is. That's $1 billion industry.
Yeah, it is
Okay?
now $1 billion.
Billions. Okay? They're selling soaps. They're selling they're selling like body rubs and lotions. They're selling like, you know, the actual cannabis itself. They're selling the drips that stop seizures and all different kind of, you know,
CBD.
you know, all kind. And then it's in food. They're fusing it in the rice.
You know what?
You talking about edibles now?
Okay, I have no problem with them legalizing it. I think the big issue is, of course, we need to get it done here in the Virgin Islands. I think, but they also need to figure out a way to tax it properly. And I think we've talked about this before. Are they gonna let people out of jail who have weed charges, like or
Yeah.
marijuana charges? What's
Yeah,
gonna
they
happen?
gotta let everybody out.
What, I think that's the
You
biggest
gotta-
Just
concern.
let them out.
You gotta get them out.
Why it
Let them out.
hasn't
Let
been
them out. Let them out.
legalized nationwide.
That's my problem.
You're free.
That's my problem.
Give us free.
I have a problem.
Give us free. If you caught me with a bag of marijuana and you locked me up for 1 to 3 years, and now that bag of marijuana is now legal, you gotta let me free. Give me my freedom. What's so hard about giving me some freedom?
I forget.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Not everybody who probably had a marijuana charge was just charged on something basic. Some people were probably charged on something major. So
Right.
are you gonna now? You have to pick and choose.
Like if you were trying to fly it in on a private.
Listen,
like
if you was bringing in a
Boatload.
Gulfstream, right,
Okay, we all
with the tires low, because you got so much kilos of weed, then maybe you need to be in jail, bro.
we all know we have some debt.
That's
issues.
not
Well,
personal.
obviously you're
That's not
into
personal.
shipping and handling or some sort.
shipping and handling.
Obviously your calling is you know, maybe he's want to be a pilot, or you need to have that brother in a program where he is obviously
Oh,
it's
man.
flying school or something, you know.
We
But,
all know we have debt issues in Virgin Islands, the government, whatever it may be. Someone just told me said that Canada paid off its debt in 1 day.
From this?
From this.
How factual?
Jesus.
Is that factual? I don't know. I mean, whoever said that, I can believe it, But I'd say this, right? So
We got so much debt right now.
so here's my
government house is listening right now. What?
So what? We
One
should do
day?
that.
The debt?
Right.
What?
Right? Wait,
Five
hold on.
votes?
Let me
Excuse
drop
me?
my drop again.
Full line is I'm the governor.
Yeah, just make the change. Hook, line, and sinker. I'm the governor. Right?
Holy crap, it is true.
Oh, so it is true.
He paid off his entire debt after 1 day of legalization.
We have
Holy
to.
crap.
It is not only vital, it is essential.
We need to sign up
to the
tomorrow.
We
future
need to
of
do
the-
this tomorrow.
Now.
Like now. But
They need to have an emergency meeting in the
Senate.
governor house legislature. Get this done ASAP. Okay.
so I was doing some reading, right? The problem with Canada is this is probably why. This is how we probably need to take a stance on it. Only because Canada ain't playing. So if you sell to a minor, guess how much jail time you get?
How much?
With this new legalization of marijuana. This wasn't the
Which
this
why-
wasn't the law
Why-
prior.
2 years?
14 years, bro.
Wow. That's
Oh, wow.
crazy.
You get 14 years if you sell to a minor, right? 30 grams or more, 5 years. Right? If you have 5 plants, you can have 4 plants in your personal residence. If you have more than 4 plants, you get 14 years.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh.
So, the way that they're doing it is they're heavy on criminality. So this goes back to what you were saying in terms of everybody who's committed a weed crime, give it us free. Nah, bro, they're not playing with criminals. So if you're using weed, marijuana to enrich yourself, oh, in Canada you're done. You're not going to Canada to win. If you're not
You're
gonna
coming up off
yeah,
the
you're
weed.
not coming up off of the weed. If you're going to Canada, you better have your paperwork straight. You better have a legal business, or else you're gonna get. I mean, like the jail time. The jail time is more jail time now when it's legalized than it was when it wasn't. So,
Well, obviously there are
what are your
hurdles.
thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on
That's
that?
a hurdle.
Do we need to bring that to the Virgin Islands? Because that, to me, I mean, that's
That's
you know,
that's crazy.
that's different.
crazy. I mean, that's a bit extreme. You're gonna give me 15 years for 5 plants, just one over the limit. That's a bit rough, you know. Well,
Bam.
how much do you get for tobacco plants?
Nothing.
Crickets.
How much you get for a trailer load of moonshine or rum?
Crickets.
I actually got a lot of time for the moonshine.
Crickets.
So, Canada, I like what they're doing, but they need to calm down with those laws. You know what I'm saying?
14 years, man. And that's my point. Like, so, like, we over here saying, like, yo, who ready to Canada? But go up there and sell to a man, I know.
That's crazy.
14 years in your bum.
That's
Wow.
rough.
That's a rough, that's time, B.
Probably more.
It's time.
That's probably
Now, California, right? California laws are a little bit more lax. They're a lot more lax. But it is definitely something that we have to look into. We're talking about by 2023, they're talking about 20 billion, 24 billion in revenue. That's what the industry is going to basically be.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, which is what we call a bag.
That's the
We
bad.
built so many schools, man. Schools,
man.
roads,
Could you imagine
bridges.
Having all that money in the territory.
We recently just opened this bridge to nowhere.
You know
It
how many
took us
gold chains we would
20,
buy?
30 years.
Who's saying it? Legalize it. Who's saying that?
Peter
That's-
Tosh.
that's Peter Tosh. Legalize it, right? So I think if our governor, gubernatorial candidates are out there, like, yo, stop dancing around this thing, you know.
We,
Major bag of
we
luck.
definitely know one senator once who's been trying to legalize it for a while.
Shout out to Senator Nelson. So yeah, man. This is going good, guys. We could probably jump into one more topic before our guest comes in.
I guess before we jump into another topic, I guess we just need to say prayers for Trinidad as well.
Oh,
During
yeah.
that flooding
Good call.
they've had the last
Good call.
few days with
Those
this earthquake.
pictures are,
Houses are disappearing, man. This much water is.
shout out to Trinidad, man. Condolences to all the people who lost their lives.
It's rough over there.
We definitely, the VI is rocking with you. You're in our prayers. And,
Bet you they won't be booking. Well, I guess these are these gubernatorial candidates made out. That's a great segue. Look how good this is gonna happen. You know I love a good segue, right? So look how Trinidad just made out. during our gubernatorial election. Marshall, Montano, Kess. We talked about this last week.
Okay.
You know, when it rains, it pours, and Trinidadians are Virgin Islanders are making it rain on Trinidadians these days. Literally.
Since our last show, the amount of fish fries, rum,
Has
and
skyrocketed.
big bands, and it has hit new heights.
All new high.
Spaceship numbers.
It's election time, man. I voted yesterday.
Literally after we said it, they announced like the biggest band, yes, Marshall Montana, Drake. I heard somebody was trying to bring in
Somebody
Drake.
trying to bring Drake in?
I heard
What?
somebody was trying to bring Drake.
Drake is coming.
Drizzy Drake.
Matt bringing Drake.
Yo, okay.
Is he a little
OVO
vocal
in the
millennial?
VI.
OVO.
They're calling it OVO in the VI. You know, I don't know how true it is. It's speculation.
You know, shout,
But anything is.
shout out to
anything-
Matt for that, for bringing Drake, yo. Y'all are stupid, but so I wanted to we wanted, you know, when we heard this news during the week, we was laughing about it because we knew that we already spoke about it from the standpoint of rum and bands, and then they turned it up a notch. So one of my good friends, John P. Wheatley, you know, famous cinematographer from the Virgin Islands, you know, he just saw or heard news that Kess was here, so he went on a rant on Facebook, and he's like, yo, they fooling the people them, yo there. So, you know, I want to know how you guys feel about that. How do you guys feel about candidates bringing big artists like
And
that?
rum.
And
Fish fries.
and
Johnny cakes.
because, you know, obviously
Fried
it's the
yellowtail,
go-to. And
snapper.
before you even go further, right, I want to say this here. I was part of a campaign, right?
The biggest fish fry in the
And
history
we was
of the Virgin
down.
Islands.
We was down with it, right? We was down with the fish fries. We were down with the big bands. So you know, for disclosure, I have to be honest. You know, my crew, we put those up. We put up those type of events, right? My question is, and you know, I wasn't a big fan or proponent of doing it all the time, but you know, what are our thoughts? Because now it's gone to a whole new level.
It's
Marshall?
out of control. And you know how much fish is gonna be fried when Marshall
Yo,
Montana
stupid, yo.
hit Backstreet? It's
Somebody
over.
say how much
You know how
fish
many
gonna
fish
be
are gonna
served.
lose their lives for just because that one concert?
Why can't so?
Go ahead, Pete. Go
And
ahead.
they ain't gonna vote for the man, you know. They ain't gonna vote for Donna Stoke,
Well,
but they did.
It's funny you say that. So somebody said, hey, you know, so-and-so's coming. I'm like, they're like, you going? I was like, well, you know, I'm not going to vote for them. They're like, so you're going? I was like, yeah, I'll be going. I'm going for some free
And I'm gonna have a
entertainment.
piece of fried fish, Johnny cake,
I will.
and I'm gonna be there enjoying the band.
I
you
will
know?
probably be doing
We
the
need to
same
do a
as well.
poll on people who don't have fish fries and their numbers in terms of votes. I definitely think there's a correlation with the more fish you fry, the bigger the band, the higher your votes are going to be amongst Virgin Islanders. It's sad, but it's
I don't
true.
know the factual. I think it is. It's an old
Mosley
crowd.
has
It's an
almost
old,
is very low in the polls. He hasn't had one fish fry as far as I know.
but it's an older
So
crowd.
that
you
one
better
fish-
get,
well,
Mosley, you
hey,
better go get your
He's
fish
got
fry,
to,
man.
if he's gonna
Bring
have
Buju. If he brings Buju, he's good.
Okay, Moser didn't have a fish fry, but remember he did have a speaking where he did have sushi.
no, I don't care if that's at Buddha Sushi. I don't care where
Where's
that
he saying,
is.
John?
Raw fish doesn't count.
Yo,
Raw
yes,
fish does not count.
Sushi and Johnny King.
There was no Johnny Cake.
Oh my gosh.
I do not recall Johnny Cake.
Who made that call? Okay, obviously no understanding of Virgin Island culture. Virgin Islanders really don't do. We do sushi. I mean, there's some of us, but the masses is that fish has got to be deep fried.
So Akira, let me get this straight. So you're not gonna be a Marshall. I done told everybody, and I don't care. I'm saying this
gonna
on
be
the radio.
there. I don't
I'm
care.
gonna be there in my Petra shirt.
I'll be there as well.
I'm gonna be there in my Petra shirt.
I'll have my Petrus cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there in my Petra shirt with a Petra's cup, rooting some Martian.
I'm gonna be there.
Who don't like
Be
it?
there.
That's your business. But yeah, I do think that our politics have become, very gamey. You know, leveraging an opportunity like that. Like I was just talking to my parents. I just picked them up from the airport, and I told them, Marshall, come in.
They're gonna be there.
And I told, and they're gonna go church.
Everybody's gonna
Everybody's
be there.
gonna be there, right? Because they're free. But I was telling them like, what if you took the money that you gave to Marshall, right? Or took the money that you gave
man, don't
to
do it.
Kets, right?
Don't do it.
And this is free jewelry, right? And said, listen, we're not gonna bring in a big band. We're gonna buy $20,000 worth of turkeys and give them away to families. Win, lose, or draw.
Paint
Whether we
schools.
get in, or we don't, or not, we're gonna give back to the people of the Virgin Islands, to the less fortunate, with the 20 grand.
We're gonna
Let's
paint
buy some-
schools. We're gonna clean beaches. We're gonna do
Let's buy
something with
some
that money.
sneakers.
Buy some school bags.
Let's buy some school bags,
supplies.
buy some
Let's
school-
give away some computers for
Yeah,
heaven's
yeah.
sakes.
Let's buy some iPads, right?
Gosh.
Like
No,
so
no, no.
so.
Seems like a waste of
I-
money.
I-
Now
gotta
you
chime
see.
in on this. I
Now
gotta
hold
chime
on
in.
before you go there.
Okay.
I just want to state this here for the record. This is millennials speaking here, okay? We next, we coming,
Yeah.
we running. So when we come, this is how we want. This is what we're gonna be pushing for. You know, we might drop a little Beyonce because Beyonce's pretty hot.
Oh, well, it's funny. We're gonna bring Rihanna.
And Amy Schumer.
The thing that I see, man, I look at some of these candidates, right, and unfortunately, it's a popularity contest. The more popular the artist, the more you win the popular vote sometimes. And who is bigger than Marshall Montana in the soca industry? And once you have that big band and you have that fried fish and that seasoned rice and it's ready to go, I'm sorry, man. People are gonna come. They know it's like.
But
it's
will
like
they vote?
But question: Why can't we
Will they
bring?
vote?
Why can't we bring a local artist?
that's our crack. The fish fries are we love fried fish. Like we love fish. We're you know what I'm saying we're seafood people. So they know what is gonna attract us. And you know once that fried fish gets in you.
This doesn't attract me.
It just sounds like this. Just
But
sounds like
okay,
some
wait till I see you there on Saturday. You're gonna have a damn fried fish in your hand. But anyways, right? So
Probably.
Don't get fired.
but what I'm trying to say is that I don't know. I lost that train of thought.
Okay.
I lost
Why
that
can't we
train of
bring
thought.
local artists? We're bringing this other band in. Why can't we bring an
I
animal
have
or
a
something?
problem with
from
that.
St.
All right,
Louis?
so let me help you all out with that, right? Not all the local artists are going to bring out numbers, right? So this is a number game. This is about perception, right?
Mhm.
Perception, you bring out a big crowd. People think that that's what everybody's voting on. So it's a perception thing. It's marketing,
Mhm.
right? So
Okay.
I don't knock the strategy, right? I don't knock the strategy. My only thing, again, with the strategy is, shout out to Adamo for watching. We just called your name, bro.
I know it's fine.
So the only thing that I can't rock with this is, again, you could easily have said, like me, I would have spoofed people and been like, yeah, Kes, come in. And then the next week say, we're not going to give away our money. We're going to give it back to the community.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw,
Local
we're giving
bands,
it back.
Local bands, schools, beaches,
Beaches,
just
yeah,
give it back
whatever.
to the
We gonna
VA.
give it
But
back
the
to
thing
the
is this, let me just add this, right? As I said
We
before,
gonna get shut down.
Yeah, probably. But hey,
Pretty
at
much.
least we're gonna go out with a bang, right? So once you have a couple Heinekens in you, once you have that fried fish in you with that hot pepper sauce and that seasoned rice, right? You basically like you're in a different state of mind. You feel good, and then that's when somebody can hit you with nonsense, right? Right? Now imagine if somebody came to you, right?
Like free tuition.
Like oh, hey,
That was
hey,
good. That was good. That was
Yo,
good. You should
but-
give me props for that one.
Hey, it's good, it's good. But what I'm saying is like when a man is starving, right? It's I don't know if it's easier to fool him like that because it's like I'm hungry, like I have no time for the nonsense.
Right.
But when my belly's full, when I'm liquored up, you could tell me anything. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then the band is jumping is free, and you know people love free, so you know it's kind of like a ploy or a little, you know, it's kind of
It's big. It's big.
it's big,
Yeah, it's
and they
definitely
know it's gonna beat us up.
Well, guess what? This is the U.S. Virgin Islands. I ban ya, and guess what? I go in Marshall.
Bro,
I best I couldn't go see Kes. That way in cruise, but I go in Marshall. So shout out to Donald Storch, shout out to Albert Brand, shout out to Kenneth Mapp, shout out to Mosler, shout out to all of these candidates because
Mostly need
guess
to
what?
step it up with the
I,
fish fry,
honestly, no more sushi. honestly, you have to sit back and ask yourself. It is hard to run a campaign, like so. If not for nothing else, big kudos to them. Millen Young Molito, all of them, for actually you know,
Sorrow.
caring enough.
So,
I'm talking about gubernatorial.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But shout out and senatorial.
Shout out to Senators.
Shout out
Blyden.
Sarah and Blyden and all of them. But running a race and doing something like this, giving of yourself in this type of way, you know, a lot of it is selfless. So major shouts out to them. I would dig into the outlook on the government. Well, we should probably just go into that.
Okay,
It's another
let's just jump into that because we don't have too much time, right?
Right.
Every time I hit a friggin' YouTube clip, I'm seeing Albert, Bryan,
Everywhere.
and Roach. Like, it's on a whole nother. I don't know who's doing their social media, Google campaign, but give that man a job. Or that woman. Give them some money. Cause Jesus Christ, I can't even go to the bathroom without. Hello, I'm Albert Bryan, and I'm just.
they are doing an awesome job. I think I was trying to watch the Joe Budden podcast the other day and was like, another commercial.
Hello, I'm Albert Bryan.
Hey, come on in, man.
Welcome to
Yeah.
the show.
This thing is like a conversation. It really ain't an interview, so we're gonna be random.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing a good
Shut that
job.
down. Yeah. Thanks.
Definitely promoting on the social media scene. Well, I guess we call YouTube social media. I guess
Yeah,
digital
YouTube,
scene. I guess.
yeah.
whatever it may be.
All the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, is it just me or is everybody else getting these commercials? Or is it just
Oh
me?
no, I'm getting too many of them.
Okay,
It's
okay.
pretty.
Every time I click, you know, a podcast, Wall Street show, anything I click on YouTube. Hello, I'm Albert Bryan, and I would like to
I've got some going too.
I haven't seen one from Matt, man.
One name is running some too as well.
Sorrow. I seen
Sorrow.
Sorrow a few times.
You could chime in. You might chime in.
No, I don't mind
Yeah,
chiming in.
yeah.
Yeah, Vernon.
Yeah, you use family hand, you know.
Yeah, I just didn't want,
No, you can
Jump in,
interrupt
jump
us.
in,
This is
jump
like
in.
a conversation. Yeah, let's just jump into it. Well, no, let's continue with our
So somebody in those candidacies are listening to young people.
That's-
Somebody. And
Yeah.
let's just talk about that for a minute, right?
Oh God.
Are you,
Blood sport.
if you're not listening to your young people and you just want to be out there by Mandela and up on Mafali handing out newspapers and fly, are you missing out on votes from that digital vote? We're in a different age, it's a different time. Yeah, canvassing is great, but it's a digital world. Are you listening to your young people
So here's
on the campaign?
here's my perspective, right?
And a lot of people are going to not get back in because they don't want to listen to. Okay, sorry. I'm going
No,
too
you're
far.
right.
Too far.
No,
Going
you're
too
right.
far.
No, you're right.
You're putting-
I just don't want us to get fired, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So here's my perspective, right? And I hear what you're saying, Akil, right?
Go ahead.
But you have to have a little bit of old with a little bit of new.
Absolutely.
We do not. This island is, I think, what is the percentage of? You might know.
The older
Vernon.
generation is
The
the
older
vast
generation
majority.
is the vast majority here. I think
Well,
it's like
it's the vast voting majority.
voting majority.
Okay.
So you don't think it's a?
Well, now after the mass exodus, after the storms, I couldn't tell you because things
You're
have
right,
changed.
and we don't have a census out.
Right,
Right.
well, a lot of
The
people
census
ready
is
to
happening
take
this
off
year.
and,
That is very
back.
true.
Well, the problem is our millennials also leave island just for better jobs, better opportunities. There's only so many opportunities here available on
Too
island
many
as well.
potholes.
And they
Too
don't
many
vote.
potholes?
And they don't
What?
vote.
Watch
And they
out,
don't vote.
speaking.
My millennials don't vote.
Right.
So I'm vexed. I'm upset with y'all.
But to be fair, who they gonna vote for? You know
Wow.
what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like millennials don't.
Just a bunch
vote.
of people who don't look, you know.
No. I'm not saying anything
Shots
negative, but
fired.
millennials voted for Obama because
He
he
was
focused on
young.
new voters. He registered
Right.
a whole bunch of new voters, people who never even voted before in their
He
life.
was
He took over
44.
the social media scene.
I'm just saying
He
it's
was
important
44
to
years old. He
recognize-
was playing basketball.
He's still playing ball.
He's still playing basketball.
But he pushed a lot of
He'll
Facebook
dunk
and
on
Twitter. Instagram
Yeah.
wasn't that hot back then, but yeah, he pushed a
He
lot
was
of
that
social
first
media.
candidate to push that social media hard.
Well, it was a gamble to go after.
To go
young
after
crowd.
that crowd, right.
They registered to vote.
Registered
That,
to vote.
But
you know.
but that's what I'm saying, right? We see that it worked for Obama, right?
It
So
does-
you on
Don't work it. Stop.
Okay,
Stop.
okay. Don't work in the VI.
Stop.
Okay.
No,
we
but
got
you
potholes.
have to
That's
have
what-
a quality like Obama to lead people to go and register to vote. That's what I'm
Exactly,
saying. Like,
exactly.
you need to be like,
Yeah, you have to
Nelson
be about
Mandela.
that. You have to be about that.
Yeah, you have to
Exactly.
prove yourself
Right,
with this
right,
generation. You can't just
right.
be like, well, that's
Yeah,
my
you can't
uncle,
just
father,
follow.
son, and
Exactly.
We don't have that.
Exactly.
This generation don't care about if you were in the armed forces for
'Cause we're
X
poor.
amount, we don't care.
We don't care about
What
that.
can you do for
What?
us
Because
today?
we're poor.
What? Man, I'm
It's a different
taking these
way.
blows, man.
We love our military, Vernon.
I know.
But I'm taking these
But the
blows,
young
man.
people
Shout out to
don't put as
Precious.
much weight
Pop, pop, pop.
in just that. You know,
Right.
because you were serving in Iraq doesn't mean you could be senator all of a sudden.
Right.
To
right,
our
right.
generation.
To our generation.
I claim,
Right,
I
right.
claim it the generation.
Right, right, right. You
Yes.
claim us,
You know,
right?
because that's
No,
what
we
I'm
claiming
saying.
it. That's
Yeah,
why we
what
had. I mean, that's essentially why we have this radio show, because we
Yeah.
want to stir it up,
Voices of the VI.
store up the pot a little bit, you know. For a long time, it kind of been, you know, big shout out to my father, Ali Ali, you know, but they kind of been doing their thing for a minute. We just want to have a little voice for a change. But you're right.
Share the
But-
pie. Share the
New,
pie.
new
Share
blood
the
in the
pie.
game. New blood in the game.
But you're right. You know, people are tired of seeing the same thing. That's why I think, you know, Albert and Map is at a dead heat. They're at a dead heat because, you know, people just want something new. And on November 6th, we'll see if they really wanted something new. And if not, then we'll be back to regular
Well,
times.
the same
But
question is new necessarily good? Is
Exactly.
old necessarily better?
because
So,
honestly,
what
and
do we value?
I'm saying this, and again, I already voted, but
Don't get
I
fired.
don't want to get
You
fired,
won't get
saying
fired
this, right?
if you.
I don't want to say this again. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it only because it is what it is. No censorship, right? So, Matt just talked a lot of reckless stuff. He just said a lot of reckless stuff. And some of the initiatives that he's putting in place, can you really say they're bad? You know? So if you're saying that some of the initiatives he's doing, free tuition, you're gonna really say that's a bad thing?
Well, that's
You know?
there's speculation that may have come a couple years before by other people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
This is what I read by the Daily News.
Right.
True, but it getting put in place. Whether or not who said it or who's gonna put it in place,
Mhm.
the thing is you know, is everything he's doing bad. So I take offense to some of the things he's doing, like paying for your mama. You know, you know, I wish I could
Right.
get somebody to pay for my mama, but some of these things are gonna actually, you know, he's saying that they were allowed in previous administrations. So why can't they be allowed in my generation?
Because in previous administrations, we never held anybody to any kind of standard.
Right.
You know, like our first appointed governor was Paiwanski, who technically
That
hooked
his
up
building,
all
his
people
building.
them. When he was appointed, who did
Right,
he hook
right,
up? Who did he
right,
put it?
right.
It was his group of people, his group of
Yeah.
friends that he appointed into certain
Right,
things.
right.
That kind of set a precedent.
So that's
You know
great
what I'm
that you
saying?
say that, right? Last weekend we had Knights of the Round Table, right? We was with Roger Minkoff, Kent Bernier, Johan Clendenin, some older heads who really put us onto game. They put me onto game.
Old school game.
Some old school game. And they was like, yeah, we still in colonial times in the way we don't vote. The way we vote is based off of a colonial mindset. And so they was just explaining that to us. But you know, again, this gubernatorial thing is gonna be good. All I care about is that people go out and vote. You know, go out, vote, and let's go from there. But let's get into our next topic, and the reason why we brought you out here, Vernon, Rougeau. We wanted to talk about DV in the community and see you wearing your purple shirt.
That's right.
I know that there was a
Domestic
walk,
violence.
a domestic violence walk the other day. We was in attendance, and we was in attendance, and I wanted to bring you on the show because we really wanted to get some stats out there so that people know how serious this is. I'm gonna say this flatly for everybody that's at this table. Dudes, if you're hitting a lady, women, if you're hitting a man, you're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I pray you get arrested.
Let me
Well,
interject for
Mhm.
one moment with that. Hitting is one aspect of domestic violence.
Absolutely.
Yelling and screaming and arguing intensely to some, or I don't know how that, but that is also viewed domestic violence. If your woman is getting crazy and calling you names and making you feel bad and getting in your face and throwing shoes at you, domestic violence.
Absolutely.
If your man is acting crazy and throwing his hands and yelling and cussing, that can also be viewed as domestic violence.
Yeah. Even something as simple as oh, you get in an argument, somebody wants to leave, and you stand in front of the door and say, no, you ain't
That's
leaving.
wrong.
That's a kidnapping. That's technically kidnapping.
Yeah,
That's a federal offense. So you have to be very
Probably
careful.
kidnap.
you
I'd
can't
probably
be
kidnap.
irritated. Whoa.
I'd probably kidnap you.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Don't
No, look,
leave.
but that's why we gotta
Don't
talk
leave.
about
Don't
it.
leave.
You don't realize little
Oh,
things,
no.
the things that we could perceive as small.
Jeez. You
Yeah,
get
you
caught
gotta
in
take it
kidnapping for that?
very seriously.
Maybe don't go. And you just do one of those things?
If you bar someone's exit against their will, that is kidnapping.
Jeez.
Okay.
Wowzers.
So you have to be in your
Nice.
relationships.
You
What-
better
the
sit
whole
down
month,
and let people
we are
leave when
trying
they
to
want to
really
leave.
have people focus on just being positive, and not really just being positive like kumbaya, but
Yeah.
really thinking about your relationship and how that affects everybody. I mean, there was a statistic that was thrown out there: 1 in 3 women is sexually assaulted or raped or has some kind of direct contact from the time they're young until their current age
That's
in their
insane.
lifetime.
That's
1 in 3 now.
That's
It used to be
insane.
1 in 4, and now it's 1 in 5 men or 1 in 4 men. So if you
Sure.
look at our community, let's say we have 100,000+, 1 in 3 women.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
Okay.
That's nuts.
So some days when you walk around and you see a lady,
And that's
you might
probably
say
the,
hi and she don't watch you. You say, "What wrong with she?" You don't know. Something actually
Might be wrong with her.
going
Right,
on.
right, right.
It's a
Something.
You
lot
know,
of stuff
sometimes
under
you
the
see
surface.
guys angry and aggressive. Why? What happened? Ask.
And
Something may have
there are
happened.
probably some that don't say anything as well. So
Plenty.
that 1 out of 3 probably is a little higher.
Right.
You know, because not
Probably
everybody
1
is
in
going
2.
That's how serious it is.
Woo.
And so for people with children, you have to really think of that statistic and think about your kids and how you want them to be raised and what you want them to be raised around. We can't have this idea of like, well, that's their child. No, that's our children, because your child will affect my child, will affect
That's
their.
the
You know what I'm
village.
saying? It's
Right.
a small place.
Place.
So with the VI, I mean, domestic violence is a big issue, big, big, big. Everywhere you go, every country. I mean, I got off the plane in Heathrow. They had a huge 10x12 sign, or you could get sex trafficked in England. Be careful. And I was like, wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So it happens everywhere, but in a place like this, I feel like we can definitely make a
change.
difference.
Right.
You know, and we can definitely start to see a change of the cycle of violence. If we can talk to, for example, we don't just deal with the victim, we also deal with the victimizer.
Yeah, so
Right.
you know, I wanted to. There, I find that you know, in the VI or you know, so we could be a bit aggressive, right?
Mhm.
Especially us men, you know, or maybe not all men, but you know, some of us. And you know, I feel like you know, there's a lot of anger here in the VI, and not only here, but it's been other places where I've lived. And you know, what is that? Is that
It comes from several different. I mean, we can talk about
because the thing is,
connection to slavery. We could talk about the colonialism. We could talk
Right.
about
isn't it that I find that hurt people hurt people.
right,
Right.
right. Unless somebody shows them that they care and show them a different way of living.
Our let's say we're just talking about our young men being educated, like, yo, you don't do this. This is not. And if you are angry, or if there's something that you were bullied in school or beaten as a child or neglected in the classroom, this is how you should deal with some of that anger. Because you know, you see some of these shootings and stuff like this that are happening in the territory. I think some of that is anger from childhood and
Right.
all kind of messed up things. You
You
know,
know how
that,
many kids come to us that have not had a meal?
jeez.
You know, sometimes principals or security guards will send children to family resource centers
Just for
after
food.
an altercation.
Wow.
Like they got in trouble. And this is maybe like 11:30, 12 o'clock, you know. And when we start to talk to them, they haven't had breakfast, they haven't had lunch, you know, when last they have a regular meal. You know, they are
A hungry person
internally
is an angry
struggling.
person.
And while they, on their face, feel like they're projecting that, nobody's coming to them saying, young man, you okay? You need something to eat? Young lady, listen,
Or something
you
as
have
simple
breakfast?"
as that.
Yeah, that could make the difference in somebody's day, especially as a young person. I mean, there's a song that Rock City had where they say they feel like nobody cared. You know what I'm talking about? That is a sentiment that so many young people have. And when they feel like nobody cares, when it's obvious something's wrong, why would they not be angry?
Yeah.
They're gonna be angry.
You can't even blame them for acting out, like, cause what would you do as
Right.
a human being? Like, you hungry?
Yeah, and all of us adults walking around them ignoring their issues.
Right.
See, I think we're making a bunch of excuses here as well. I think you brought up a few people are angry. That's an excuse. We still can't be touching kids, women, men, children.
Right,
We're
right.
making too
True.
many excuses here.
Well, it's not an excuse. It is looking at the core of, it's a core societal issue, right? If you're neglected, like let's say for instance, right? If you're neglected as a child, beaten and done all these terrible, horrific things too, can you now just jump into society and be a normal citizen?
Yeah, it's very hard.
And to say that, hey man, we're gonna hold you exactly to the same standards as this young man who's had 3 square meals, father and mother, never been touched, never been abused, doesn't know anything but love.
Right.
We're just gonna hold you all to the same. I don't think that's fair.
It all depends on the person.
Not
because-
making excuses for either child, but I'm just understanding that
There's a,
you can make a monster or you can make a doctor.
Correct, because you can
Right.
change this. Hey, I don't want to be
Right.
like that person who I was.
So some
raised
of
to
us
be.
are lucky in this game of life.
Right.
yeah, some of us
Some-
got a good hand dealt to us.
Some of us are
Absolutely.
born to some crack dens, crazy
Yeah.
madness.
Even just
Look-
neglect.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
one thing.
Not
because-
hearing I love you.
Yeah,
Right, right,
I mean,
right.
I can tell you, even growing up, there's several times I tried to push a boundary too far or tried to
Sorry.
get away with something, and I had a grandparent or somebody push me, I'd put on a rock, or said, people who correct your behavior along the way. Even as a quote unquote good kid, you can make mistakes.
Right.
If you don't have somebody who to say, here's what you do when you make a mistake, it's going to be very difficult to then move on and to
Move on
nurture
from
and
that,
to
right,
grow.
right, and develop something.
That's crazy.
Well,
But I agree with what Pete was saying. Like, there's no excuse for domestic violence. That is never the case. No matter what circumstances you come from, you shouldn't be abusing other people.
Yeah.
So-
That's
so-
at the
so-
base of it.
so here's my question before we start to wrap up. How can people help to make change?
Mhm.
How can people effectively, like our generation, because again, this show is about our generation and how we can move forward to
Right.
start to evoke change. So what can millennials or even younger than us, what can they start to do
Yeah.
to effect change in the community against, DV?
Two things I like to have people focus on is one, if you see something, say something.
Right.
Sometimes you might see somebody smack a child, or you might see a domestic, your neighbor or something, and you say, hey, that ain't my business, so and we have to stop that.
But
Right.
we also co-sign a lot of this beating.
Right, so we have to really stop that.
we are, I've had this discussion many times. A lot of people co-sign, the beating of children.
That's
and
true.
some of these kids are the people, I don't know how that impacts them. Some
It's
kids
very
is not
negative. Very negative.
exactly. You say
And,
no, it's just a little whooping.
I
Yeah,
feel
beat
like this is a huge another conversation, but I feel
Right.
like there's a difference between spanking and abuse.
Right,
That's just my
right, right,
opinion.
right,
However,
right.
there's a lot of research saying otherwise, and people were very much against it. That's another thing. My point is, you can report it to somebody. You
Right.
can slip your neighbor our number, which is 776 stop.
Right.
776 7867. You can call us. You can find us on Facebook. You can interact with us on Facebook, where nobody can find it.
So, I think that any hitting of a child is abuse.
Exactly.
Period.
Right.
Do not put your hands on children. I don't like it. I've been beaten as a child, and I didn't
Yo.
like a lot of these people, right?
Yeah.
A lot. Let's talk facts.
Mhm.
A lot of people who got beaten as a you didn't like it. You
Right.
cried. You was like angry and upset.
Mhm.
But now you're in a position of power. You're like, yeah, you gotta get beat too. I get beat. So
Right.
yeah, it's tradition.
Right.
But you feel
Okay. Yeah.
Nonsense.
And that actually has a lot to do. And now
Nobody enjoys
I hear you.
getting beat.
that
What-
brings me to a second point, and that is changing how we talk about it as a person, and what you do in your own life. If somebody step on your foot and you box them up, or you talking about, oh, I'm a peaceful person. So
I about
individually-
peace, brother.
right? We as people, individually, we have to try to be peaceful ourselves,
We
and then also,
we beat our kids beat you because you don't eat the porridge in the morning, right?
right.
Right.
Beat you when you don't get good grades in school, right? Beat you because maybe you're talking back and doing this and that. Beat you when you're coming home late and you should have come home and oh man.
Yeah.
Why don't we just sit down and conversate? Go
Okay,
ahead,
do
Pete.
you
Sorry,
think it
my
made you a
bad.
better person, or does it make you angry?
Terribly angry. When you want a pit bull to fight, you beat him. aggressive. This is what they do when they fight dogs.
Right.
And this dog
Right.
becomes aggressive, and then that's when it's ready to fight. It becomes very angry, and its perception of the world is angry. So I think that beatings, for some, not all, some kids is just gonna run around and play ball and go, just a little beating, but some kids is not. It's gonna affect them differently because we're all different
Right,
beings.
Yeah.
So would you like to take that chance? I could mess my child up for life, or he or she could just get over this beating and continue.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a difficult thing. I mean, for example, I have a young sister. She's 5, right? Now, when she hangs out with me, it's a weird thing because our age gap is hugely different.
Right.
So when I go to discipline, spanking is not even in my thought process.
Right.
So I have to figure out a new way of doing it.
Right.
You know, luckily for me, I outweigh her. So I'll just sit on her, and she can't move or go no place.
Hey,
and
but
now
you're not
she has
supposed to.
listen
You're not
to me.
supposed to let people. You're not supposed to.
My
You're not
secrets,
supposed to.
right?
Don't let out your secrets, bro.
No, but it worked, and she can't stand it. She can't.
You can't stop her
And
from leaving
eventually-
though.
Right? No,
Don't call that weight. Don't call that weight abuse.
Right.
Weight abuse.
You gotta go to
You
jail.
know, but I gotta use what I can as a big brother. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But eventually, now I had to do it once, and now she understands that. If
When
she
that
don't
happens,
listen to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
she can't move. We gotta
No,
play how she
so
wanna play.
no.
But the second she's nice, we're gonna be fine. You know, so there are different techniques. There are different ways, and there are many nonviolent techniques. You could read a book, Google it. Everybody have a phone, but you don't want to look up the right stuff.
Right.
Look up things that are healthy. Look up the things that are going to be beneficial to yourself and your relationships.
Well, you know, man, Vernon, this is exactly why I wanted you to come on today.
Thank you, man.
Because
This is great.
I know that we wanted to dive into DV, and you know, not that we aren't equipped. It isn't like anyone on our panel are DVers, if that's what you want.
Right.
You know,
And you're aware of the issue.
people.
Like say
Well, I
that.
think the best thing to also say is also kids, adults, whatever it may be, we have to lead by example.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Kids mirror every little thing we do. I have young nieces and young nephew. They watch every little thing I do. So you have to lead by example, whether it's littering, how you talk to people, everything we do in our lives, lead by example.
Right.
In the workplace, everything we
Lead by
do,
Right.
your relationships, lead by example.
Don't block the dog.
Right.
Ian, don't kidnap.
Right.
Stop kidnapping,
You
Ian.
know?
God.
Be careful, because
Yeah, that charge is
You know.
serious.
keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
It's a old rule we
Old
learned
rule
back
that we learned
before
back in
kindergarten,
school,
you know, and that's the best thing.
But-
if you get upset, walk away.
But
Right.
you know,
Take
like
a break, take a
I
break.
find that cussing is I don't know if that's a part of the culture, but that's a
Yeah.
norm. Like I was in the deli,
Yeah,
Fresh Town Deli, the other day, and somebody was getting cussed. And well, hey, that's a part of it is what it is.
Culture. Culture.
I know what culture is. I remember that growing up.
I just driving in the street and somebody was getting cussed. So I mean, like you
You know
know.
about that. But we wanted to spotlight you tonight because of all your great work in the community, Vernon. To me, you're one of the few young men that's out here like doing. I don't like talkers. I like doers. I like people who
Well,
are
let me
about
tell you,
action.
the team
Shout out
I'm
to
part of
Vernon.
is a
Shout out to
strong team.
Vernon and
Shout
Russo,
out.
man.
Well, I gotta extend that to the FRC team. I don't know if you saw on the shirt, we got
Yeah,
hashtag
yeah,
Team
Team
FRC.
FRC,
And it's
yeah.
a very strong team of predominantly women who have
Right.
been through the trenches of
Shout
this
out to the
game. And
Queens. Shout out
they
to the
have
Queens.
done an amazing job and have inspired me every single day. I've never seen a group of people work harder.
Vernon for senator.
Yeah, you know,
Don't
hey,
throw that out
easy
there.
now.
Whoa.
You get me in trouble.
Shout out to Miss St. Juice.
Yes,
I know
Vivian,
that
Anya,
she just left.
Kaki, the whole crew.
Chantel,
all the best
Chantel,
Chantel,
the
yeah.
whole crew of us that are
Really,
part of
really
Team
appreciate
FRC,
it.
Leda, and everybody who's down there doing it every day. And right now, for example, we have victims advocates that are on call 24/7 to respond to emergency crime. So all those people who are on call right now, thank you all for the hard work that you do.
Okay, wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
Appreciate that.
So as a wrap up to the show, again, we want to give a major thanks to Sean Brown for powering our show. Much thanks to LeBron, Chris Paul, Brandon Ingram. Who else was on the court
James Harden.
committing domestic violence?
Rondo with the two
Counts.
jabs to the
Rondo with the
face.
spitting.
Rondo with the spitting, yeah.
That was a
Thanks,
big
guys.
contact. That was.
Yeah, he's spitting.
But he caught him with an uppercut too.
Yeah.
And then we also just need to
Hard
plug
body.
our social media. So
Yeah.
of course we're doing the show 97.3 FM. But it's also available Facebook Live. Also, we're going to be putting it on YouTube usually the next day.
SoundCloud.
Also available on SoundCloud, and that's We Runnin, RUNNIN, We Runnin.
Yeah. So please, you know,
Shout out to the
stay
Lakers.
positive, and Lakers is bums.
They haven't won a game yet, but anyways, next episode.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that next episode. We're gonna be here again next week, Tuesday. At what time? What time we are here?
6 p.m.
6 to 7 p.m.
6 to 7, also on the TuneIn app as well.
Oh, we're on the TuneIn app as well. Let's close out with our record, because you know I like that. Shout out to Felix.
We running. We running. We running.
Hey man, bro, I appreciate you coming
Yeah, man,
down.
definitely, man. That was a good album.
Tune in to get it, we got it.
That was a good album.
Nothing you can't stop us. Cause they can rest their time. All year round, we the hottest. Sorry, I'm just being honest. We profit, the profit, the profit. This is like all the least. Muhammad Ali, we the greatest. So down to earth like the Phoenix. So solid, you can't reach. I'm talking about all of your favorites. John D, Fantasy, Friends, Bristol, Cadillac. Comedy, turn match stick. Tune in.
Yeah,
Run it.
big time. Yeah, man. Hey, you lost, man. You lost. Right, thanks again, man.
You're not.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Check you out.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.